retail store. Okay, worked at like fast food restaurant. Amusement park. Okay, so who has worked at a concierge specialty service pharmacy? Okay, so that was like my first job, and for it being my first job, I had like no idea what to do, and I didn't know like anything in that field, so it was just even more nerve-wracking. And my mom was a manager, so it just like added more on top of it. And so like, say if I like messed up for some reason, it'll not only make me look bad, but my mom as well. And so today I'm going to enlighten you on how to become a successful pharmacy clerk in 3 steps. So the first is to master filing like patient records. The second is to master GSO, which is there at that pharmacy and overnight delivery service. And then the third is like answering the phones and working with patients. And so, I mean, when I first worked there, I was the patient records filer. And so I'd have to file the patient's records by the RX number. And it'd go from like descending, so it'd go up. And so I had to file that, and then after we had this big papers, or this big file of like papers, and it was full of the patient's numbers, and it was like little tiny like numbers, and so I'd have to go one by one and check off if the patient has signed off. So like when the patient gets their prescription in the mail or in the delivery service, you'd have to sign to show that you received the medication, and so that the pharmacy won't get audited. And so for that, I'd have to make sure that the patient signed off. And then once I mastered that, then I moved into GSO, which is packaging the prescriptions. And it's not like just like wrapping like a present or something like that. It's more like detail into it. And so we'd have to print out stickers that go onto the like little bottles of the prescriptions, and then we'd have to log that into the computer, and then we'd have to make a GSO label, and then we'd have to get all that and then put it into like little baskets, and then we'd get like this envelope, and then we'd put the little the little stickers, and then the prescription, and then an envelope with the little stickers so that they could sign off. And then after that, we would close the envelope, and then we put it into another like little baggy thing, and then close that, and then stick the GSO label on top. So it's like a lot. And then say if we get one where the medication has to be refrigerated, then we'd have to put it into an actual box and fill it with like a bunch of like stuffing and stuff. And then once my boss felt like you were good with that, then you would move into the third step, which is like answering phones and then working with patients. And like personally, I don't really like talking to people, and so that was just like really scary. And then especially since like you're working with people's like medication, you have to take it like really seriously. And so like you'd get some people that are like say if you hear like my voice on the phone, you'd be like, what the heck, like do you have children working there or something? And some of like they won't take it like kindly. And then so you have to get the patient like so let's say the doctor's office was calling like a new prescription, and so it would be like a totally new patient to the office, and so we'd have to get the patient's address, their insurance information, and then their like say like their credit card information, so they can line to like pay over the phone. And so like there'd be somewhere you would get the new prescription from the doctor's office, and then have like zero information on the patient, and so we'd have to call the patient like directly, and then some of them would like feel uncomfortable giving them like such information over the phone, and so it'd be kind of hard. And then after that, we get all the information we'd have to put into the computer, and then all of that is just even more like confusing because you have to press like a lot of different buttons and stuff, and it's just like if like say if you messed up and you just messed up like everything, and it's just hard. But I mean, definitely working there was like a really good experience, and like just working in that pharmacy in general and getting customer service experience. And so these 3 steps definitely helped me, and I hope it helps you guys who are going to that field. Thank you.
Well, I kind of like the idea, I'm not a fan of audience surveys, but you've got like 4 questions that you ask, and your goal is actually to get to the one where you're the only person raising your hand, kind of an interesting way of identifying the topic. Okay, I can live with that. That works fine. Your goal, however, is very specific on this particular job, and it sounds like it's going to be kind of narrow for the audience. There aren't going to be people who are going to be doing this. So you are telling us basically the small details that you go through in the job that you had, and I'm wondering, well, why is it important for us to know this? There's one section where you go through the whole process of packaging that you're going through. The minutia on this would be fine if you were training somebody and you were showing them what it is that they have to do. But you're talking to an audience here, and it's like, why am I listening to this? This is where there's not much of an audience analysis. If there was a reason, like for example, you wanted us to understand why a problem might occur with our pharmacy order, or why it's important to, to get our pharmaceutical through the mail, or something along those lines. If you can connect it to that, then maybe that would be a little bit more relevant. As it is, it just sounds like it's a detail. It's like I sit down on my computer, I have to log in, I have to use my full username, and every 6 months I have to change my login password because the computer will kick me out. I'm using Internet Explorer still on the computer, and that doesn't work very well. And my computer screen is a little bit smaller for doing stuff that I want to do, and people are going to go, why are you telling me all this? I don't need all this. I keep my files in this drawer over here, and I've got files in this drawer here, and I keep my notebooks on the... And people going, why? You've got to give us a reason why we're listening to this information. So I think that's the problem with the subject matter that you've got here. Now, presentation-wise, there are a few things that you're doing pretty well. I think you've got some natural gestures that reflect some engagement while you're speaking to us. Your facial expressions are usually pretty friendly and outgoing. Your eye contact, though, that's one of those giveaways. I can always tell when you're thinking about something because you have this tendency to kind of look up in the air or look around and go, so what else is there? And I'm trying to remember what it is I'm saying, and you're just totally disengaged from the audience, and you're self-engaged at that point. You're just thinking to yourself out loud in front of people, and that's a little bit awkward. Your voice projects pretty well. You could use a little bit more variety at times, but the energy level's okay. Like I said, lots of details in a subject that I'm not sure everybody needs to have a lot of details on. I think there are a few places where you're relying on crutch words. You do have some of those vocalized pauses that we talked about. The word light comes up a lot in the first third of the speech. Not as much later on. I thought you got better about those kinds of things. Merci.